How's it going, guys? My name is Tavarish, and today we have a marathon episode because this engine is going on that cradle, and then that cradle is going into that car. I am so excited. Hey there, everyone. So I am actually in the middle of editing this very episode. You can see my stupid face right there. But I just got a bit of really good news, and I'm super excited. I wanted to share it with you. Now, a lot of you know that I've been working with Autotempest.com for quite a long time, and they sponsored Car Trek Series 1, where Tyler Hoover, Ed Bolian, and we went on an adventure with some cheap depreciated supercars. Now, I just got the final draft for the very first episode of Series 2 of Car Trek, and I am really excited. And I want to share it with you because you guys are what make this entire thing possible. Now, this is going to be available to see on my channel on October 5th at noon Eastern Standard Time. That is next Monday from the time that I'm posting this video. But so you guys can see a little bit of a sneak peek, I'm going to share with you the very first time anybody's ever seen the series intro. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it, and consider subscribing and hit that bell if you like this project, these cars, and everything I do on this channel. Now, in the last episode on my Mclaren 675LT build, we got this, the power unit, assembled. We have the transmission on there. We have everything ready to go into the car. Now, the car is looking a little bit sorry for itself over here, but it won't be for long because we're putting this brand new, well, not exactly brand new, but this is a refurbished subframe, and the engine is gonna go on. Well, it's not gonna go on, it's gonna go on from underneath. So right now we're installing this into there, and when I say we, I don't just mean me, I mean Jared's in the bathroom. You had fun?
Oh yeah.
Jared drinks motor oil in the mornings. This is not coffee. This is just like, what would you call this?
This is 30 weight.
30 weight. Okay, so Jared drinks a nice tall glass of 30 weight every morning. Over there is a car. Over here is an engine. We have to kind of put them together like this.
There's a lot of steps to it. First, it's
not that many steps. It's like a few bolts and that's it.
Monocoque, and then a fuel tank, and then like 5 lines, and then finally we can remarry them.
Well, these have been divorced for way too long, and they're missing each other very much. So we're
introducing this.
Oh well, we're not really introducing it. This is like
They've never met each other.
They haven't met each other actually, but this is going to be a match made in heaven or hell, depending on how long this takes. This is just attached with 6 bolts. Actually, there's supposed to be 8 bolts, but you can see there's 2 right here, 1 down there, and then 3 on the other side. There is an extra bolt hole here and an extra bolt hole here, and I believe that we should have like some extra bolts that we can put on. The problem is we never found them. So I think that this car at some point had a roll cage or a roll bar installed, and then they took it off, and then they never replaced those bolts. So I think if we replace those bolts, this car will be even stronger.
Even stronger.
That's right.
Or it may not even need those bolts, and they're solely there for a roll cage.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put more bolts in it because this car has been in an accident, so we're probably gonna need more bolts. So
more is more better?
More is more better. So this car right now is on casters, which means that it can move around a little bit. It's very light. Turns out when you take all the body panels and the engine and transmission and frames and stuff off a car, it's really light. We added so much lightness. I mean, we have this this transparent roof here. We just have this on a pallet jack, and hopefully this should all come together. And honestly, once we do up these 6 bolts, we're done, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're done, and we can just start the car.
Go home and sleep. Take this on a drive tomorrow. All right, we are remarrying, and what we've got, we're doing our final checks. How's it feel?
It feels good. Actually, the floor is nice and cool. There's a weird Zen moment thing. So we have an angle finder, and this is probably not the right way to do it, but there's not a ton of flat planes on this carbon tub, so we're just gonna find the angle here.
Yeah, and our magnetic angle finder doesn't stick too good to carbon or aluminum.
Yeah, so this is around, like, it fluctuates between 10 and 13, so right now it's 0.13 degrees.
Let's see, that green does not like to show up. All right,
no,
there's 1.5 as you moved a little. So
yeah.
we found the angle of 0.13 to be the most consistent.
Yeah, and then we put this on here, and this is between 0.09 and 0.14
And 1.3
and 1.3. Yeah, so I mean, this is gonna be in the realm of acceptable.
We've gone around and measured a bunch of different points and went off witness marks, but accepting this is not from the car, we have done every bit of cross-referencing we can.
Yes.
And it lines up and is probably more true than before. What do we do now?
Now we put the engine in.
Well, no, we put it on a lift. It's not going to be on dollies anymore.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's do that. Dude, this looks, well, it's starting to kind of look like a car again.
It's a lot more than just a weird looking tub and a droopy piece of aluminum. It's like a almost rolling assembly.
Yeah, now it's no longer droopy. But take a look. Now I have the transmission. Nothing back here is broken. Nothing up there is broken. We have a new transmission bolt. We have the adjuster adjusted. We have our tie rods. We have our engine crossmember thing.
A transcooler.
A transcooler, yeah.
This car hasn't had in 3 years.
Fun fact, this has not only one, but 2 transcoolers. There's 2 because this trans is very cool. We actually have to do one more thing, and that is put this fuel tank in. The problem is the fuel tank had other plans. So here is the Mclaren fuel tank, and there's a reason why this thing is open. And Jared wanted to inspect everything. Now, everything in there, that is one of the fuel pumps and the fuel sender unit, that's all fine. However, in this hole was a different story.
Yeah, so we were pulling it to drain the fuel and make sure things were good, and there's not a lot of servicing clearance, so it was a fight to get this side off. When I went to that side, the top hat, which is on the table, or no, it's right there, came right up, no problem. And the fuel pump's supposed to live inside this basket, and this is what locks it onto the bottom of the tank, and it yeeted this straight across the fuel tank, and it was floating, and we discovered this. I actually found that piece of plastic on this side of the tank, and there's only a tiny little passage between the two. And
so that means that it definitely yeeted. It yeeted and yeeted all day.
And through it, it was so bad that one of the internal quick connect fittings ripped off of this, which is, they're hard to get off in the best of circumstances, and yeah, it ripped it apart, popped a fuel line off, and we need one of these. If you've got one, send it quickly.
Send help. Need parts. So I'm gonna have to order a new fuel pump assembly for the left-hand side. But in addition, I'm not sure if I'm going to just order a whole new fuel tank, because right here is a bit of a dent, and this is where the engine kind of smacked into the fuel tank. Now, this is not really a big problem. I would lose a little bit of capacity.
Yeah, just a very small amount. There's no structural integrity damage. You know, there's no stress marking. We would try to push this out, but there's a vertical structure that prevents us from getting behind it. So
yeah, so this isn't too bad, but I kind of, you know, since we're going to such feats to make everything brand new, I might just get a new fuel tank, and while I'm at it, a new fuel pump assembly. So this is gonna have to go in after everything else. So I kind of wanted to have everything on the car and you know, hook up everything and have the car start, but since we don't have a fuel pump or fuel tank, I think the next best thing is to put on the rear suspension, the axles, and everything to make it look like there should be wheels in the back of this car. What do you think?
I agree, we can do that. Yeah, axles, what's exciting is those aren't, like, when we took it apart, that hole was here, basically.
Yeah, so that shot forward, like, bam! That's where the axle was, and you can see back here, this was completely ripped off, so this smashed in to the frame and just ripped itself off, so this was like there.
Yes, we know you're not supposed to use a Sawzall normally to remove one of these engines, and we didn't pull one out once reinstalling it because things were where they belong.
Yes, yes. And
it's funny how that works.
Exactly. And one of the things we took caution with was making sure that everything here was aligned properly. Now, it still could be misaligned to some small degree, but I don't think that it's going to be anything significant. We made sure that the degree marks were the same on the carbon tub, and they were the same on this frame. And then we aligned everything here, made sure nothing is cross-threaded. We put the bolts, well, we put the Loctite on all the bolts just like they would be from the factory. And I am going to be going over everything with a torque wrench to make sure that everything is torqued to spec.
You ready for it to go in?
Please don't.
There's plenty of lube.
Please don't say it like that. Now it's looking sort of, kind of, a little bit more like a car. So we put the rear suspension assembly on there, and we also replaced up there. You can kind of see the accumulator that makes time travel possible. So that is actually the thing that allows the hydraulic system. Like, this has a very complicated hydropneumatic suspension system. That is what makes it work. It accumulates in the top of the strut mount, and then it distributes like a ton of pressure all throughout the system. And one of them on the front exploded in the crash. So that's not good. So we replaced all four. Well, actually, we replaced the two in the back, and we're replacing the two in the front later on. But right now is kind of the moment of truth, because this is a new piece from a Mclaren 650 or something. This is, well, basically butts up against here, and this will tell us if our frame is good or if we screwed something up. So put one over here, like that. That probably isn't focusing.
Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, one of the bolts there, and then we got another bolt right.
All right.
Ooh, take a look at that. Boom. No resistance, no binding. This thing is straight. And all we have to do is tighten these up. And this car, like, the engine is in, the frame is in, the carbon tub is repaired, all that. This car is straight and ready to go.
Well, ready to go, plus a couple hundred things to plug in.
That's not that many.
And the body panels.
Yeah, that too.
Fuel tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's like
20 minutes of work. We'll be done in 20 minutes.
Well, I'll be done in 20 minutes because you're leaving, right?
Yeah, my 2 weeks is up. I've got to go home.
Yeah,
I have a wife.
You turn to a pumpkin tomorrow.
Yeah. I have a wife and a dog that misses me.
Those aren't important things.
They're very important things.
They're not important things. Yeah, not when you have a McLaren to rebuild. But I will be here, and in the next episode, I am going to do everything I can to make this car start. So I'm very excited. I'm also very scared because I've never heard this car start. The engine might be bad, the transmission might be bad, the wiring might be bad. I might have missed a hose or 20, but I hope you guys will join along because it's going to be a very heavy, wrenching episode. I'm going to get really dirty, and it's going to get interesting. So I'll see you then. Until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like this that now have drivetrains and frames and everything, you guys need to always build it better. And to do that, you need to, what do you got to do?
Freddie's gonna wrench every day.
I'm gonna wrench every day. See you guys.